This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. What up, everybody? I am Ben Troupe. This is latest installment of 84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reasons. What's the reason for today? We coming from Indianapolis or Indiana all the way to Florida. My next guest, she does not like batters. Or batters don't like her. We're going to get into the things she's done before she even got to Florida. Listen, she wears number 7 on the film, and she's number 1, the great Keagan Rothrock. What's going on with you there, Keagan?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, Keagan, look, I always try to go back to where it all started in high school when I say, all right, let me see some of these stats. Then I got to reading your stats, and I'm like, this ain't even real. I mean, you won 77 games in high school. You did not play your freshman year because of COVID. Your senior year, you got notified 30 minutes before the game you could play. What? I don't even know whoever that trainer was, doctor was, you are a godsend, because your teammates had to be like, what? I'm clear. I can see you just walking out there on the mound. Like, what? They just told me. You was already in uniform hoping to get that played for the U.S., won Pan American Games, won a gold medal, 3-time Indiana Gatorade Softball Player of the Year, 1-time National Gatorade Player of the Year. And you did all that before you even, had to deal with an injury. We'll get into that. But now, repping them Gators, you said you committed in the 7th grade. Most of us can't spell commit in the 7th grade. Now she's at the University of Florida. Obviously, we'll talk about the season. But Keagan, with everything that you're doing now, how does one know in the 7th grade, I'm going to be a Florida Gator, and I know I don't care what's going to happen between 8th and 12th grade. What made you so sure of yourself at that young of age?
I think the biggest thing for me is just that it felt like a second home to me, and it had always been my dream school. And with me being so far from home, I had to make sure that this was going to be somewhere where I was going to be able to thrive on my own, and somewhere where I was going to be able to feel like I was at home without actually being at home. And then, add in the softball, which is obviously amazing. I've been given so many awesome opportunities here, and then the academics as well. The academics were super, super, super important for me, just because I want to be able to build a life for myself after college and after softball's over.
77-4, 0.45 ERA. That's not a 1, by the way. She don't allow 1. 1,080 strikeouts, 56 walks, 22 no-hitters, 13 perfect games. Only struck out 12 times. This is in high school. We're gonna get to Florida. What in the world? Like, I heard at one point you said, I just want to start throwing more strikes. What goes into that confidence of saying, hey, not only do I throw strikes, I've never seen an ERA that's not even a 1. And no stretch of baseball. How do you not feel the pressure of, I want to make sure I'm, getting all these records, but to just let the game come to you? Because when you were as great as you are, sometimes the pressure of, I got to play better than I did last game. I got to pitch better than I did last inning. How do you maintain some level of balance when all that pressure is on you like that?
Yeah, I think it's just knowing that it's softball. I've played it since I was probably 4 or 5, and just knowing that the game hasn't changed and that my teammates are always going to be there for me behind my back, no matter the outcome, no matter how many runs we score, how many runs they score, what they do, what they don't do. Just knowing that it's softball and it's supposed to be fun. And so for me, I went out there every game with the intention of having the best time of my life. And I think in the long run, you could really see it on the field, is that I was just out there. I was having fun playing with my teammates, really soaking everything up from the community too.
I know that you said coming into Florida, a big thing was like the coaching staff and the academics. You wanted to go into pre-med. You want to do that in in undergrad, and you love working with kids. I know that Florida Victorious makes sure that you guys get out there in the community and see a lot of kids. I mean, boys and girls for all, shapes, sizes, and ages. How has Florida Victorious made sure that Keagan, before she, steps into the hospital, can go out there into the Gainesville community. I know you was doing softball camps. How has Florida Victorious helped you in making sure that, look, we know what you want to do. Let us help you, do that at a bigger scale through Florida Victorious.
Yeah, so they have really just given us the opportunity to go back into the community and give back the way that we know how, and to just spend time with those kids that may not have a role model to look up to. It just really allows us to go and spend time with them and to give them our attention and to make them feel loved. And for me, I love working with kids. So the opportunities that I have to go to an elementary school and just talk with kids and just hear about their day, hear about their favorite subject, it means the world to me. And it might also mean the world to them. It might not. But like for me, just the opportunities that they allow us to go and do so many different things within our community is amazing.
Your high school career is historic. You obviously playing in Florida now. You come into Florida softball, which is about as Florida is one of the premier schools in the country. Softball, oh my God, Coach Tim Walton, we're gonna get into him. But you're a freshman though. You come in. What was that transition like? Because obviously we know what you do on the mound, and I know I read something to where I saw something to where when you was with the US team, you were the youngest one, you was asking a bunch of questions. How much did all the things you did in softball prepare you for walking into this whirlwind? One, SEC, crazy. Florida, crazier. Oh, Florida softball, oh, even crazy. Oh, there go Coach Tim Walton. How does, someone as young as you come in and become the number one pitcher on a team that was already loaded with talent?
I think the biggest thing is for me, preparing coming in, I prepared a lot, but the transition into college itself is so different, and it's not like the transition to high school where you're going to be with the same kids that you were with in middle school and whatnot. But when you go to college, you're in a whole new environment if you're going out of state. And for me, that was just figuring out who my teammates were and just really being able to lean into them and to feed off of them. And I think especially later into the season when those connections became even stronger, it made it so much easier to lean back on them in a time of struggle or a time of pressure, and just knowing who I can go to who knows how to calm me down in those situations. And I think my teammates honestly have been one of the biggest keys to helping me be who I am today on the field.
Y'all chemistry, y'all games, y'all, and I mean this humbly, y'all games are nuts. Like y'all games are so because they be showing the stands, they be showing you guys in the dugout, they be showing the coaches. It's like a lot of different things going on. You get to live it. You are, you play for the team. What is that atmosphere like for someone who hasn't been to a Gator softball game? Try to tell them, if you can, describe the atmosphere out there, because the heat is one thing, which obviously, you guys can use to your advantage having to practice and playing all the time. But those people that live under a rock who haven't experienced Gator softball, give them a small glimpse of what it's like.
Oh, it is so hard to describe our atmosphere, but I would say it is one of the most inviting. It can be electric at times. It's an amazing atmosphere to play in. We have amazing fans. They have done really a lot for us this season, and I feel like they grew with us also over the season. And I think when we went to Oklahoma, that was probably the best fan base we've had all season. And I think they've just really grown with us and just kind of really taken this new little young team under their wing and just kind of cheered us on, and they never gave up on us. And so I think in the end, it turned out to be such an amazing atmosphere to be able to play in. Home games are amazing. The fans are amazing. And then especially when we get to go to Oklahoma and they travel with us, they made all these cool little signs, and they were the funniest things ever. And I think it just kind of shows that they have taken us under their wing with them and just allowed us to grow into the team that we are. And they've supported us every step of the way too.
Keagan, with everything you thought you was gonna get coming to Florida, you doing your bit. I'm doing my homework on it. I'm asking questions. I'm trying to be prepared. What still blew your mind? You go out there. You go, dude. This is correct. Because the thing about it is, yeah, softball is softball. It is. SEC softball is a different thing. Gator softball is a different thing. What was it about this season that made you go, man? This is all right. This is it. This is it.
I mean, there's a lot of things. Gator softball in itself is just amazing with the resources that we have here and just the amount of things and the opportunities that they provide us with. It just allows us to grow as people and to grow into the person who we want to be, both on and off the field. And I think that's one of the biggest things that makes this program so amazing. And that I don't think I really realized before coming in is just how much room there is to grow still with the amount of opportunities that Coach Walton provides us. So I think that's what is it for the softball side. But then on the academic side, there's even more opportunities and resources for us. If we go and talk to our academic advisor about we aren't getting something we need or we need something, he's going to give it to us, and he's going to do whatever he's going to give us those opportunities we need to excel in the classroom as well.
How do you balance your time? Because you don't have free time. I mean, I appreciate you taking. Listen, when we tried to get you, they was like, "Oh yeah, we can get Keagan on this day." Wait a minute. Keagan got these softball kids, which we understand. Like, the one thing about me and Ryan, we understand that the last thing you have is time, and if you do, have any free time, you be like, "Hey, listen, they want you to go on with Ben 84 weeks." What? I ain't got but like 3 hours I got to spend. How do you balance your time? Because you talk pre-med. I don't even want to. Keagan, I don't even want to know what that schedule is like.
I actually changed my major. I'm a psychology major. I want to be a sports psychiatrist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Because that's the one thing I did want to say. When you listen, when you in high school and you haven't got these classes yet, I want to do this. Then you get on campus, and then you sit in front of your academic advisor. They give you your syllabus. They give you your schedule. Like, there are no breaks in this. No, you're literally in class until you go to practice. What? Well, listen. And they sit you down and say, "Do you really want to? They ask you what you really want to do with psychology. You can work with people still. How fast did your major change? Is it something that you came in want to do, or did you get talked into it?
So I actually changed my major before I got here. I wanted to go on the pre-med track to be a pediatrician, and then I took AP Psych my senior year of high school and absolutely loved it. And I think my teacher that year also influenced me a lot to change my major, just because I had taken such a big interest in it, and she kind of was the last push that I needed to change my major to psychology before I got here.
You already in their people's heads, Keagan, when you on the mound. Now you reading their mind? That ain't right. You already messing with their mind on the mound. Like, oh, now she's like this. Oh, and talk about that though. Your mound, like you have your presence on the mound is incredible. Is that something you work on? Because I was always told with pitchers that, look, before he or she even go into their wind up, I'm looking at the batter. I'm looking at, as obviously me and my catcher, we got to have a great relationship. How would you describe your mound presence?
I would say that I have a really calm mound presence. I'm not really a big showy person. I've never been that way. I've always just kind of been like a calmer, quieter person on the mound. I feel like I've gotten a little more loud as I've gotten older, and especially since I've gotten here. But I've always been somebody who handles pressure really well. And if I feel like it is getting to be too much, I always have somebody that I can lean back on. And for me, that was Jossie and Skylar this year. And I really leaned on them when I felt like I was feeling it more than I normally would. And they would talk me through it, and they would get me back in my calm space. And then I'd be able to go back out there and just be the calm, quiet pitcher that I know how to be.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating if you're a hitter, right? I got this 5'10" freshman. Everybody knows who you are, right? Every team in the country recruited you, even though 7th grade I'm going to Florida. I'm striking people out. I ain't got no antics when I strike people out. I ain't staring them down when I strike them out. I'm walking back to the dugout. That's to me, that's the most, because if I'm a hitter, I'm thinking to myself, number one, it's gonna be hard to get a hit off of her. That's rare. Number two, she likes to throw heat, but it could be coming from all different ways. You got a lot of different pitches, but then she doesn't give me anything. Is that something? Have you always been that cool, calm? It's always been, look, I know what I'm out here to do. I'm not trying to give my opponent anything they can go off of. Have you always been cool, calm, or is that something that developed over time?
I would say both, honestly. It's something that's developed over time, but I also think that's kind of how I've always been. Off the field, I'm generally a pretty quiet person to begin with, and so I think for me that's kind of translated onto the field, but I don't think it came automatically. I think that's something that I've had to work on over time and kind of keep regressing in a way, just because every situation is not going to be the same. I'm not going to be in the same situation a lot. It's going to be continuously evolving, and so for me, I kind of have to also realize that my mound presence kind of has to evolve with it. And even though it can still be cool and calm, there's things to celebrate too. There's things to make the adjustment on and little things like that.
The voice you can hear right now is Rothrock, the greatest freshman, or one of the greatest freshmen. I was calling you the greatest freshman pitcher of all time in Florida, even though there are some greats that came before you. I already see it coming, but I would be remiss. We talked about Coach Tim Walton. The one thing I like about him is this: never met him before, but just by seeing him, he looks like he have a people first, player second approach. Like he talks to y'all as people. Y'all just happen to be great players. You get to get coached under him. What is it like having a coach that's really in softball? He's seen it all, done it all, achieved it all, want to achieve it again. What is it like being coached under him?
I mean, it's amazing. The amount of opportunities and experience he provides us with is amazing. It's not like anything else you're going to see anywhere. With us being such a young team, they were able to pour into us and give us all of their knowledge and all of their experience. And I think, especially Coach Walton, he has helped us so much as a team to grow this year, and especially the younger players who have never done this before. He has just done an amazing job and continuously provided us with the opportunity to be better people and to be better players. But he's always told us that we are people before we are players. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped all of us to grow, is just to remind ourselves that softball doesn't define us as people, but instead it's our relationships with each other off the field. It's the things we do for each other when nobody else is looking. It's the things we do in general when people aren't watching. So I think that aspect of it has really helped us to grow as people, but also as players on the field.
A coach that can talk to you, like because for those that don't know, when you're a player, sometimes you have to realize, wait a minute, he's talking to me. Because you used to getting coached all the time by your coaches. A lot of times they're trying to have personal conversations, but we can't separate them from the coach's hat. It sounds like Coach Tim Walton says, listen, Keagan, I'm talking to you most of the time because it's easier to coach you when I can talk to you as a person. I can say stuff to you during the game when I'm just talking to Keagan. I know we got competition. How much better does that make you as a player when you know, oh, wait a minute, you're talking to me? Yes. I know I met you through softball. That's how we met. But, you're an incredible person. How much better of a player does that make Keagan when she knows, dude, I got to get used to that? Because certain coaches, all they know how to do is coach speak. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I got a coach that says, listen, Keagan, we're going to spend a lot of time together. There's going to be times you can't stand me. It might be times that you might be getting on my nerves. But if I can get to know you as a person, as a human being, that's you think you're throwing heat. Oh, you're really gonna be doing it when I'm giving, because the comfortability comes before you get on the mound. It comes well before the lights get turned on. How much better does that make Keagan when I'm out there going, my coach cares about me outside of these colors in this school that I represent?
I think it makes a world of difference, quite honestly. And it just gives us not really the peace of mind, but more confidence knowing that he is also confident in us just because he knows us as people. And I think I could speak for all my teammates on this, but the fact that he gets to know us as people first and is able to crack jokes with us off the field and just interact with us off the field like we are people also, it's made the world of difference for all of us. And it has just allowed us to really flourish on the field. And I think it has also helped in times of pressure where, yes, he's super competitive and he's going to continue to push us and drive us, but he also knows that we're people too, and that, yes, mistakes happen, but don't make the same mistake twice and learn from it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that has really helped us as a team, especially over this past year.
How would you describe Gator Nation? Because we different. How would you?
We are. I would say intense, so supportive. And I think those two words really describe Gator Nation as just intense but supportive. And they're always going to be there for you, no matter the outcome.
You think you know what you mean to these young ladies who's coming up that want to play softball. You know, but when you get here, you really find out what you mean, not just for them wanting to play one day or wanting to play for Florida one day, but just watching you do what you do because most of the time, the hardest thing about college is not just the transition to college, is what is my role? How do I fit in on a team? And you coming in, and I'm already number one pitcher on the team, the response from these young ladies who want to be you, Keegan, you signing autographs, you're taking pictures. How has these young ladies who want to come up in the world of softball? How have you really been embraced by them? Because I understand. Look, I got two daughters. One of them is an ice skater. The other one plays soccer and flag football and basketball. And every time I take my little one to a tournament, it is teams everywhere. I'm like, you can fit this many teams here? It's like one weekend becomes, I said, I met 250 young ladies this weekend. How has being embraced by the younger generation of young ladies who want to be you, how has that changed your outlook on how much you mean to the game of softball?
I think for me, it's just knowing that I was also that little girl who followed the college teams around, who went to Oklahoma, who asked for all of the big girls' autographs. Just knowing that that was also me in their shoes has really allowed me to just be able to interact with them and be the role model for them that they want to look up to. And I think um, giving back to them and interacting with them after games is so important because I was in their shoes. I would have been so upset if I was not able to talk to them or they brushed me off. And so the fact that they continue to embrace me and that they allow me to keep interacting with them, I think is amazing. And I appreciate it more and more every day.
Most young ladies that come through college only dream of playing in the Women's College World Series. They see it. They watch every game. You watch every game, whether you in it or not. You guys were in it. Oklahoma State, Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean, you speak of Skylar and Jocelyn earlier. They got some get back with they former teams, but you were on the mound. You were out there. Broke the streak. When you talk about Oklahoma, which congratulations to them. 4-peat is hard to do. Back to back is hard. Going 4 times in a row is even harder. But Oklahoma Women's College World Series, y'all made it. Y'all in there. What is it like getting off the bus in Oklahoma going, what in the world is this?
It is so surreal. I mean, you dream about it for so long and then you're in it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in it. I get to do it. I get to play on the field in front of all these people, in front of all these fans." And then you get on the field and for me, it felt like another game. It didn't even feel like pressure. It didn't even feel like we were at the World Series. It just felt like it was another game. And I think that's one of the biggest things that had helped keep me calm on the mound is that I didn't feel the outside pressure on myself. And it's just knowing that I'm at the College World Series and this is something I've dreamed of for so long. It's time to lay it all out. Even even what even more than before. And I think that alone just really helped me to embrace the College World Series experience as a whole, just because it's so fun. It's an amazing environment to be playing in. And again, as somebody who dreamed of playing in it for so long, it just makes it all the more sweet.
Most players in any sport never ever make it to the pinnacle of it. They don't make it to the championship game or the College World Series. You here as a freshman, as a starter, you're running out there. Yes, I'm cool, calm, and collected. Now, if they would have put a heart monitor on you, that thing would have probably been, I said, listen, she's calm, but the heart is beating out of her chest.
Yes.
But how much did the season help you get prepared for a Women's College World Series? Because you're thinking to yourself, look, SEC baseball is different than tournament baseball. Tournament baseball is different than regionals. Regionals is different than super regional. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. At what point did you realize they're going to be looking to me? You talk about Skylar, senior. I mean, just player of the. I mean, just about Skylar is what you hope to become as a player, and not just individually, but what she means to the team. I think the hardest thing about being y'all is they expect y'all to make it happen in those moments. When those moments happen, come on, Keagan. And in your mind, that's what I want to be my best. When the moment is there, and it seems like all of you guys are, and most people don't have, College World Series experience. They only know it. You have it, right? You already have it, and obviously the expectation is to get back there every single year. But at what point during the season do you say to yourself, okay, if or when we make it to the World Series, I'm going to be ready?
I mean, I think it happens from the beginning just because the beginning of the season is really where your road to the World Series begins. Um, and then you get thrown into SEC play, which I think honestly is one of the best ways to be prepared for the Women's College World Series because you're traveling to other stadiums where they may be really, really loud and it may be the same as it is at the World Series. And then you get to play at home against these opponents where you may draw in more fans than you ever thought you could draw in at a home stadium. And I think SEC play really helps us to be prepared for the World Series, especially playing at places like Alabama, um, Missouri. For us, those were two of our biggest, loudest, and Georgia, loudest away series. And I think the moments like those where you learn out of the World Series how to deal with the pressure of being in a loud environment, I think really helps going into the World Series and just really helps everybody to come together even more, to be the team and to mesh together and to learn how to work under pressure together before you get to the World Series. And then it just makes it a lot more smooth sailing. And then you know how to communicate to each other more effectively later in the season, just as you're learning each other and learning how to deal with those pressure moments.
Keagan, you guys ended the streak with Oklahoma. I believe, the game y'all lost, y'all brought out the best in them. They brought the best of y'all brought out the best in them. But, and I know it's disappointing, to come up one game short, man, we were right there, right? But when y'all in the locker room, y'all in the dugout, or y'all, all together, at a certain point, the tears stop because you go, dude, we can do this. Like, did y'all see? Because as a competitor, it's moments that when no one's around, when they go, all right. They said we had them though, right? Like it's okay. Yeah, they coming over to the SEC. Shout out to the Sooners. They coming over to the SEC. But to know, see, the hardest thing about the best out there is they don't think they can be beat, and then they get beat, and then that doubt creeps in. Like, wait a minute, they beat us, right? So when they play y'all again, they like, oh, okay, like we know what we dealing with now with them. We know what we dealing with Florida, but y'all still beat them. Y'all lost to the champs. And congratulations to them. But to know that they can bleed, Oklahoma, y'all can bleed, and we made y'all bleed. What is that feeling like? Because when that game is over, they kept showing Oklahoma's dugout. They like, what? And mind you, because to me, y'all welcome them to the SEC before they come over. Look, shout out to whatever y'all be doing over there in the Big 12. This is what SEC baseball is like. To know that y'all beat the champs, and shout out to them. What is that feeling like to know that? Because when they said that streak is over, they're over there looking like, man, what is going on? The script wasn't supposed to go like this.
Mm-hmm. It's an amazing feeling. It's something, I mean, I've been looking forward to playing Oklahoma since I was a little kid, just growing up watching them play Florida in the World Series and the 17-inning game that they had when I was probably 13 or 14. That's something I've dreamed about forever. And then the actual experience of being able to beat them as a team, it just kind of goes to show that all of the hard work that we had put in over the season had paid off for us. And it just the grind that we had gone through and the different tough moments that we had gone through had just really paid off and just really showed that, hey, we can do this and we can beat anybody. And no, like anything is possible on any given day. And I think that just really showed us how close we were as a team, but also how hard we had worked to get to that moment.
Expectations are hard things to live up to. We all have them. It's fueled by disappointment when it doesn't happen. But what Coach Walton is telling y'all, I just see something in y'all. It's like coaches have to say the same thing over and over and over until we almost know what they're gonna say before they say it. But for a moment in time, because sports is about moments, right? In the memories. There was a moment this season when y'all beat Oklahoma. Y'all was atop the softball world. Like everybody was going, what in the world just happened? Keagan, talk to us about you. Like, hey, listen, it's like they don't get you come off. Listen, you come off the field. They trying to get you as soon as you come off. You breathe like, look, man, I'm just trying to get my breath. I want to go celebrate with my teammates. I'm over here. We can only do Gatorade baths in college. I get it, but I think the thing that I was most proud of with y'all is how y'all handled it, because it's hard to come back and lose the next game the way y'all did. Or how the game started and how the game ended. Yes, y'all lost. It didn't. It was one of those. I hate walk-offs. I only want walk-offs when I don't want walk-off because it's like that. It's just like you sitting there like, man, because one pitch can change the dynamic of an entire game. One pitch.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is when they shook y'all hands when y'all beat them, it was different when they shook y'all hands when they beat y'all because they looking at y'all, they looking at y'all like because to them, once again, it was like, who are these women from Florida? Like I'm telling y'all, don't let what hasn't happened affect what happens. Don't let the past affect the present. Keagan, y'all, and this thing too, you know what they saying? They young though. What?
Mhm.
They're young. And they doing this right now. Okay, right there, man. You know, he just turned 18, 19 years old. Keagan, yeah, he just got in. But the respect is earned every time you step out there on the mound, every time y'all play. What is going to be your fondest memory of last year's team?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many different moments. I think a couple of my personal favorites are the times in the locker room and before away games where we play hacky as a big group. Those are some of my favorite moments. Another favorite moment of mine is post game bus rides after a big win and just the energy on the bus and the excitement of everybody on the bus and just the music and everybody's having a good time and all of those things, but then also the pregame where we started a tradition of rocking the bus. And that just kind of became our thing before we would leave the hotel and then before we would get off of it. And I think those are the moments that I'm going to cherish forever with my teammates off the field, outside of obviously hanging out with them, but like as a team, like I think those are my memories that I'm going to cherish and remember forever.
I guarantee you Skylar Wallace is going to see this. What would you say to her
About
about just what she meant,
anything.
what she meant to you, what she meant to the team? What would you say to Skylar Wallace, who, in my opinion, has more than lived up to the expectation since coming over from that team in Tuscaloosa that will go unnamed?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. She has lived up to all the expectations, and she was a phenomenal leader for all of the freshmen, really. And for me and Ava both, she was our person who we went to in the game when we needed somebody to talk to, somebody to ground ourselves in. And she has just been an amazing leader and an even better friend for everybody on the team and has just really helped instill in us an even bigger work ethic than we all came in with. And working harder than we even thought we could work. And she had just continued to drive us every day, and we all fed off of her energy, and she fed off of ours. And she was just an amazing person to be around, both on and off the field. And I'm so sad to only have gotten to play 1 year with her.
Mom and Dad were the first Keagan fans, and that's they had to be whether they wanted to be. That's what they had to do it. Your weekend, I don't know at what age your weekends was done. When you play softball, no more weekends. Sorry, I'm on the road traveling. Mom played softball in college. What would you say to mom and dad, the ones that said, "Listen, Keagan, this is going to be an investment. Uh, I hope you understand what we're deciding to do." What would you say to them? The biggest Keagan fans in the country, your parents.
Oh, I would tell them a thank you a million times over because all of the money and all of the time and all of the support that they were able to give me throughout my childhood and my travel years has made all of the difference since getting to college. And I think just knowing that they're always going to be there for me and support me in any time, no matter the situation, no matter the outcome of any game, the way they talk to me and the way their presence is around me is never going to change and their support is never going to waver. It's always going to be the same. And they're always going to be the people that I have to lean back on. And they have just been amazing through the whole process. And like all I have is a million thank yous and a million love yous. And you guys are amazing for just always being there for me and supporting me, even through the hardest of times and through the best of times as well.
She is SEC Freshman of the Year, third team All American, All SEC second team, Women College World Series All Tournament team, Freshman of the Year. Just got the town from that town to Gainesville. Yes, if you are a pitcher, I mean you are a hitter, she will put you to sleep on that mound with her presence. But her she's known as Keagan Rothrock. I'm gonna call her Keagan Rock the Bus Rothrock. You'll have to see why. Keagan, let me tell you something. Keep being you. Keep smiling, keep enjoying yourself. Keep that cool, calm. Because when I hear about great pitchers, the first thing you think is they're aggressive, they're aggressive, they're aggressive. You're like, well, I'm aggressive. I'm just calm with it. I just don't show it in my demeanor. I show it in my play. Already been to the Women's College World Series. Already been dominant as a freshman. And she got 3 years left. Ooh, woo! She got 3 years left. And I already changed changed the major. I'm happy about that. Because listen, she gonna go from rocking these hitters to sleep, and they're gonna walk into this site when they're gonna say, Dr. Keagan, they're gonna ask you. That's right. Have a seat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your problems. You are my problem, Keagan, in college. Well, let's just talk about it. You had on the wrong colors. You had on the orange and blue. We could have been on the same team. Keagan, I appreciate you taking the time. Tell Coach Tim Walton to stop ducking me. He gonna have to come on here. I'm gonna run him down because I ain't got nothing else to do, nowhere else to be. You are why I do this as an old Gator talking to a current Gator. Stay healthy out there. Keep smiling. Keep having fun. And keep inspiring these young ladies all around the country to know that, look, it ain't about how you start. It's how you finish. It ain't about where you're from. It's where you're standing. And I don't know how cold. I know you had to go from snow in Indianapolis, to heat and humidity in Gainesville. But I think you've made the transition beautifully. Keep doing what you're doing, young lady. I will be watching.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she is Keagan. Rock the bus, right? Rothrock, I am Ben Troupe. This is the latest installment, 84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reason. What's the reason for the day? It's Keagan. And if you ain't watched her play, get your Wi-Fi right. Pay your cable bill, because you're missing a treat. Keagan, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.